for joining me today. Excited to dive into the world of copywriting and content marketing. We're going to explore how you can plan and create your content that not only captivates your audience, but also increases your sales and streamlines business growth. Kind of important, right? But first, let me introduce myself. This is a classic question. Well, who the hell are you? I'm Shauna, and I have spent well over a decade immersed in the world of brand messaging, organic marketing, and of course, content creation. And I have a particular affinity for copywriting. That's kind of where I laid my roots when I first started my business many years ago. Today, I'm going to share my expertise. I'm going to share with you a journey and how you can actually take the information that I give you today, apply it today, and see results as you move forward, likely over the next 30 days. Now, this is all with the intention of literally unlocking the potential that you already have in your organic marketing. It's already there. We're just going to unlock it and really let it shine down. Now, I'm going to let you know that I want to make sure that I'm touching on everything you need to know throughout this presentation here. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So if you see me checking my notes, that's me making sure that you get the best quality information possible that you can take action on, like I say, today to see results in the next 30 days. Now let's jump in. We're going to start by talking about the power of compelling content. This should be no surprise to you because you're here. Right? Content in today's marketing landscape, it really holds incredible power. They say content is king, but really it is the whole kingdom. All right? Keep in mind, content is anything that can be consumed by an audience. So literally everything you're putting out into the world is content. It is a form of marketing. It's not just words on a page. It's literally the bridge between your brand and the audience that you wish to reach, your right fit audience. Compelling content, if you're doing it right, it is increasing engagement. It is boosting your brand authority. It is fostering trust and brand loyalty from your audience and from your prospective clients and from your clients who are currently with you and from your clients who have already gone through the journey with you and are on the other side. All of these people, when they're consuming and engaging with your content, should be functioning in that space of brand loyalty. Right? This is what this is the whole purpose, is forming those relationships that last you for a lifetime. Let me share a few statistics. If you don't believe me, if you're like, all right, yeah, I'm going to share with you a few statistics that may surprise you, or maybe they won't, but they'll at least motivate you. So first of all, content marketing in the year of 2024, so next year, it will be worth $600 billion. $600 billion. All right. Content marketing leads to higher organic search traffic. It leads to more backlinks, greater brand trust, and higher conversion rates. So if you're creating good quality content in a way that makes sense strategically for your business, you're going to naturally see higher conversion rates. What does that mean? More clients, more cash flow. This is what we want as business owners. Google tells us outright in their SEO starter kit that creating good content will likely influence your website's ranking on their search engine better than any other factor. Any other factor. So this is in the SEO starter guide. So your content needs to be top notch. You can't just create a website and plug in SEO words throughout and do well. You actually have to have good content. Companies that are prioritizing content marketing right now see much faster growth through increase in leads than those who don't. And finally, content marketing generates 3 times as many leads as traditional outbound marketing, but costs 62% less. So this is not only yielding better results than most other marketing tactics that you can get out there, but it's also costing you so much less. And when I think about cost, it's really important to me to think about the full overall cost. And that includes not only money, but also your time and energy. So we're going to talk about how can we actually optimize your content marketing in a way that doesn't feel yucky, that doesn't take away from your enjoyment of life, and something that it's not complicated, it's not hard, we're not stewing over it. We're going to streamline the process so that it just runs on autopilot. So let's dive into the first really important step. And you will not have heard this from me the first time. You will have heard this over and over again, but we are going to dive into a few things that you may not have heard about it. And that is understanding your audience, that right fit client. At the heart of a successful content strategy is understanding that client and what it means to really reach out to them in a way that matters to them. All right. I can't stress this enough. Knowing who you're speaking to lets you tailor your content precisely to their needs and preferences. I'm not saying you're going to forget yourself, because it's actually kind of my MO to really encourage you to tap into your authentic self, your core values, and shine the way only you can. And we need to make sure that it overlaps with the needs of your right fit clients. So now this is where your buyer personas and your market research really comes into play. And today I'm going to guide you through the first steps in this process and leave you with the next steps so that you can actually continue to flesh out these ideal customer profiles. So number one is your demographics. Again, this is kind of where people stop. And we're not going to, because we're going to actually take the deep dive. So demographics, what does that mean? Well, that's your age, gender, location, income, education, occupation, all that jazz. All right. It gives you a good idea of who this person is on paper. And that's important. But when you stop there, you're really not setting yourself up for success in the long term. And what I mean by long term, I mean all of the different things that go into running your business, which includes creating compelling brand messaging and a strategy through your content, a marketing strategy that actually works, where you're not just hopping on the hamster wheel, doing the do, creating content for the sake of content and not seeing any results. We're talking about results. All right. So that's the first thing that you want to look into. The second thing you want to look into is your psychographics. I've seen a few people doing this, which is really good, but I want to really dive in. We're talking about their lifestyle. We're talking about their interests, their values, and their behaviors. And I mean like their actual behaviors, not just what they say they do. You want to know what they say to do, because that tells you a little bit more about how they perceive their reality, and that's really important. But I'm talking about their actual tactile behaviors. Look into that. Find out, what do they actually spend money on versus what do they say they spend money on or time on. Remember that those two things are equally important. In fact, I'm going to argue that time may be more important in this regard, but I digress. The third thing that you want to do as you're building this up, and this is where I very rarely hear people dive into this when they're talking about their client avatars, and that's actually their association or affinity. And what does that mean? That means, where are they hanging out? Who are they connected to? Who do you need to touch base with to get in touch with them in a way that's meaningful, that doesn't feel yucky and salesy? Because that's where a lot of people hesitate in their marketing, is they feel like they're going to come across as salesy. Well, we're going to avoid that by taking the roundabout route, where we're actually talking to the people in the spaces where they hang out in clusters, where you can go in and really become a part of the community and touch base there. Now, your next step in this ballpark is to, number one, do the market research, have the conversations, hang out in those communities, and actually see what's going on. All right, take note, look for trends. But it's up to you whether you do this before or after. You would be missing out on an amazing opportunity if a part of that next step didn't include leveraging AI. Go into ChatGPT and have a conversation with ChatGPT. Name it Rhonda if you want to. I don't care what you name her. But have a conversation and see what they bring up. All right? Because they're going to have a wealth of information about your client avatar that will help you to take your content marketing to the next level. When you follow these steps and leverage AI and dive deep into the market research, you're absolutely going to be well equipped to creating a detailed and accurate client persona that will help you, that you can leverage as you're putting your stuff out into the world. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is setting clear goals. Again, this is something that you've heard before, but I'm going to look at this from a very specific to marketing approach. Okay, you've heard about SMART goals. SMART goals applies to this too. Okay, I want you to make sure that once you understand your audience, you need to have measurable goals within your content marketing strategy that you can actually make choices along your way so that you're staying in alignment to reaching those goals. It's shiny object syndrome that really makes you go in other ways. When you've clearly defined your goal, you know whether or not the choices you're making along the way, the content that you're creating, is actually going to gain that traction. That's with all of your copywriting and all of your content marketing. And soon we're going to be talking about that connection between copywriting and content marketing. So stay with me. Now, setting clear goals. When you're doing this, there are actually 9 major goals that you are going to want to consider for your content marketing. Today, I'm going to give you the top 3 goals that most businesses prioritize. You can find the other goals online anytime you look up. You literally look up main marketing goals. You will find these goals listed. Okay, but the top 3, and these are the ones I think that you're going to be focusing on the most anyways here, is number 1, to increase brand awareness. Let people know you exist, right? That's super important. Let people know you exist. Attract more traffic, right? To your website, to your profiles. And then, of course, generate leads, because you want those leads so that they can convert into sales. All right. And I mean qualified leads. I don't mean Joe Blow. Qualified leads. Okay. Now I'm going to loop back to number 1 just for a moment here and let you know about that increasing brand awareness. This can be a really challenging thing for people to do because you need to talk about yourself in a way that actually highlights your audience. That sounds like a mind bender, I know. So what I've actually offered to you is an amazing resource called the Brand Visibility Vault. And you can find that at shaunalee.com/brand visibility vault. And Shauna Lee is spelled SHAUNALEIGH. Again, /.com/brand visibility vault. You want to head over there because it actually has 6 months of repurposable content that is specifically designed to highlight your brand and to really boost that brand visibility in a way that's repurposable. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel every time you put yourself out there. I've also sprinkled in a few bonuses in the resource because I like you. Now that said, we're going to now move forward from your goal. Once you've got your goal, you actually have to plan your content and create a calendar. To a lot of people, that sounds very daunting. I've heard this idea of this, I want to post intuitively. It feels more authentic to me. And I love authenticity. Authenticity is like my meat and potatoes. Simplicity and authenticity. I live in the world of the two-icities, okay? And there are problems with solely intuitive posting, just as there are problems with solely strategic posting. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is to create a calendar, create a plan that taps into your authentic self, because you've done the work to figure out what your core values are, who you are as a brand, and who your ideal client is, and how you can meet them where they are. You've already done that work. So you're already going to come from a place of authenticity. Okay. You're going to create a strategy that makes sense for you, that you will be showing up no matter what. Right? But you can also leave room for, and I strongly encourage you to do this, leave room for those intuitive posts. So you have your regular posts. You also have those intuitive posts that add a little flair of personality. This is usually where I grab my phone and I go, hey guys, so this is what's happening today. What do you think of that? That's fun. So fun. And they also get the meat and potatoes that I've strategically and intentionally planned out, which are in alignment with my goal and based in my values and my brand message, so that I can actually achieve those goals when I review my plan every 12 weeks, which I do encourage you to do. Now, consistency is key. This is one of the reasons why I ask for this kind of combination of planning, because with intuitive posting, solely intuitive posting, things come up in your life and then you could fall off the bandwagon for days, weeks, months, years. And that really takes a hit on how you're showing up, on your search engine results, on your conversion rates, on your brand awareness, right? So having a plan in place helps you to not fall off the bandwagon in a strategic sense, while still showing up in an authentic way. So you can take that and run with it in that way. Now, there are a few other benefits to having this plan, and I'm just going to list them out, and you can dive into what that means for you. But they are consistency, which I just described, efficiency, making sure that you're not wasting your time on things that don't actually drive action. Right? Having a plan gives you statistic that you can review, which I'm going to go over to. Goal alignment, already talked about that. Variety, this makes sure that you're not just posting the same stuff every single time you show up. If you're just inspired to only talk about this one thing, but it's not really engaging your clients, or maybe it is, but it starts to trickle off, they'll lose interest. So it adds this part to your content, is this variety. Adaptability, a structured plan actually allows you to adjust to follow that invisible hand, which is your market. It also allows you to plug in those random moments of, I just want to show up, which is really great. For businesses that have multiple team members, having a plan really helps everybody get on board. All right. So it's really good for team collaboration. Time management, again, not wasting your time on things that aren't working or spending too much time on things that you could otherwise outsource. And measurement, which is something that I already addressed briefly, is just the idea that if you have a plan, you know what you're doing and when, you can actually create a chart. You can actually analyze the analytics in a way that allows you to make informed decisions as you move forward. So that's the meat and potatoes of your content planning and calendar creation. Next, we're going to talk about your copywriting essentials and the art of storytelling. So copywriting is the backbone of your content. You may not hear a lot of people say this, but I'm going to tell you that first of all, let's look at copy versus content. Content, I already told you, is anything that's consumable by an audience. Copywriting, on the other hand, all right, are words that get people to take action. If you are using content in your marketing, you are doing yourself a disservice if all of your content is not also copywritten so that people know what to do next, whether that's liking, commenting, follow, share, buy, read more, dive deeper in, all of those things, right? You would be really doing your business a disservice if all of your content was not copywritten. Because in the description that I just gave of both content and copy, you can understand how all copywriting is content, but not all content is necessarily copywritten. I'm going to tell you that the content you're putting out for your business should be copywritten. And in this section, we're going to dive into the fundamentals of what that means. What does it mean to actually make your copy or your content into copywriting? This is very simple. It comes in three different stages. And it comes with even like a sentence that you can remember. You need copy. You need copy. This is the structure for your copywriting, for all of the content that you're creating for your business, which should be copywritten. This is all about your ideal client, your right fit audience. All right. Make sure that it's all about them. Use I intentionally. And this is where I was talking to you about your brand awareness. You're writing about your brand in a way that speaks to them, not speaking about you. Right? You really need to be intentional about the way you're using I and how you're addressing your clients, because it should be all about them. You want to also focus on benefits and not features. This is an aspect of you because you need to know that ideal client. You need to know what benefits speak to them, and the fact that features usually don't matter. They want to hear about results. For example, including copywriting in your content, that is going to increase your lead conversion. All right, 100%. I don't mean 100% over, because it all depends on how you do it. But I mean, I am certain that combining copywriting with your content will increase your leads and the conversion of said leads. I digress. The next one is need, right? You need. Need is established need. Who knew? Why does it matter to them? Why do they care? You need to establish that need. And how do you do that? With storytelling. All right? Using emotion. Making it relatable. Give them something to talk about, to think about, to feel. All right, you need to establish that need. Storytelling is a very powerful tool, and it will breathe life into your content. I want you to be specific, because it can turn this mundane message that you want to get out into the world into a captivating narrative that actually engages the emotions and connects with your audience in a deeper level. There's also a famous quote that goes around that says, people buy with emotions and they justify with logic. This is true. If you can captivate them using emotional storytelling, they are far more likely to convert at the end of the day and justify that decision with logic after. The last thing is copy, right? You need copy. What is copywriting? Copywriting are words that get people to take action. In order to get people to take action, you need to have a call to action. This is a verb. You want them to take action. You want only one call to action because you do not want to confuse them. A confused mind does not buy. One call to action, a verb, say it briefly, say it in basic terms, keep it clear. And one of my favorite authors, Stephen King, says, half it and then half it again. All right? Also avoid words that end in ly, but that's besides the point. You don't need to avoid those words, but that's what Stephen King says. It all depends on your personality and how you flow. Maybe don't use too many. There you go. But that is my basic structure for copywriting and how to infuse it into your content. You need copy. Next, we're going to talk about measuring success. To ensure that your strategy is on track, you actually need to track the performance, and that means look at your analytics, right? Measuring your metrics like engagement rates, conversion rates, shares, watch time, if you're doing videos, which I strongly encourage you do, and of course, your KPIs, your ROIs, right? It'll guide you during your content audits, which again, I encourage you to do every 12 weeks, okay? It's going to allow you to make informed marketing decisions on what to do and what not to do. This is a lot like weeding a garden. Okay, you want to take out the stuff that's not going to let your garden thrive and encourage more things that are going to help your garden thrive. All right, this is really important, no matter how pretty it is. In fact, I told a story about this recently. My tomatoes were in the garden. I had 2 flowers growing there by chance. I did not plant them. They happened to be there. One was a marigold. The other one was a morning glory. They're both beautiful. I love looking at them. Okay, the marigold prevents pests and bugs. They don't like marigolds. That's really cool for a tomato, right? Like, oh, awesome. I don't have any earwigs crawling in there. The morning glory is a vine. It's vining. It will literally wrap around my tomato plant and kill it. Even if you like both, you've got to pull out what's not working, okay? And metrics help you to do that. Measuring the performance of your content is a non-negotiable if you want to achieve success, especially if you have a tight budget, or if your small house team is in charge of creating and publishing all the content for your business. You need to be able to make the right choices, or you're wasting time, and time is money, and energy too, and energy is life. So we want to make sure that we're doing it right. Let's see. I've got a few other stats if you're interested in this, because this is another point where people get a little bit hung up. Regardless of company size, 70% who have experienced extreme success in their content marketing, they measure their content marketing ROI. 70% of them who have experienced extreme success in their content marketing. Okay, these audits are really important. Statistically, those who regularly perform content audits, they see improvements in a couple of key ways. They are 53% see increase in engagement rates, and 49% see increase in rankings and traffic. So you're going to get people coming to your website more often, which should be copywritten, which should then increase conversions there. If you're getting more people seeing your stuff, you're going to get more people buying in if it's written well. Now, I suggest that you set up a Google Sheet or something similar like that, so that you can actually start tracking all of those statistics. Put it in there once a month, say. Usually, like if you're using Instagram or something, they give you a month review, which is really great. Put it in there and include a notes section. I think this is a really important part, is to include a note section in that, because a lot of times you're going to see these numbers and they're not going to mean anything to you. But if you see these numbers, you see an increase, and then in your note section, it says, we focused more on video content this month. That's an important indicator, right? Now you're saying, I see. Maybe when you've been focusing on video content and you're seeing a steady rise, and then your video editor fell ill and you weren't able to really pick up the pace the way you were, you can put a note there saying video content creation dipped, and then you see the dip. Now you know you've got a positive correlation between creating video content and the success of your content, right? So you're going to want to look at that. Remember that small changes often make the biggest impact. So you don't want to change everything all at once if you're noticing these trends. You want to change little things so that you can understand the correlations and make executive choices based on that. Now, we're just going to do a little recap, all right? Because we've explored the importance of clear goals, understanding your audience, and effective copywriting, as well as, of course, analyzing all of the above and making informed choices along the way. I want to remind you that if you are looking to increase your brand awareness and then take a step towards converting at a higher rate, then you're going to want to download the Brand Visibility Vault, again at shaunalee.com/Brand Visibility Vault. That's where it's completely free, by the way, but you want to dive into that and repurpose that content on a 6-month basis, because it is literally 6 months of repurposable content completely customized to you. It's kind of a big deal. And there are bonuses, because I love giving away bonuses. So Go and download that right now. Right now. Next, I want to express my gratitude for you for sticking around for this whole chat with me. I hope that you've gained some higher level insights into how you're approaching your content marketing and how you're embedding copywriting into all the things that you're doing for your business. Here we've covered, we've covered the essentials of creating content that not only captivates but also converts, and we've also kind of made it a little bit more streamlined, which will take some of that weight off your shoulders so that you can breathe easy when you're creating and have a little bit of fun while you do it, because you're not worrying about whether or not it's going to work, because you've got a strategy in place that is designed to work for you, unique to you. I hope you leave here today inspired and equipped to elevate your content strategy and increase your sales. With that, I hope you have a fabulous rest of the day, and you can reach out to me anytime. I'm always here to support you on your journey. Chat soon.